So, the slope can tell you something about the direction of a line.
Slope can also tell you how steep a line actually is.
A horizontal line has a slope of 0. Lines that have slopes that are close to 0 end up looking almost horizontal on a graph.
Lines with slopes that are farther away from 0 will graph as much steeper lines.
Take a look at this. Here's a graph with a horizontal line. Its slope is 0. If we draw in more lines with different slopes, you'll see that the lines with more gradual slopes, those that are closer to horizontal, have slope values that are closer to 0. Likewise, the steeper lines have slopes that are farther away from 0.
The same is true of lines with negative slopes. The lines with gradual slopes, the ones that are closer to horizontal, have slope values that are closer to 0, and the steeper the lines get, the farther away from 0 their slopes are.
To sum it up, the value for the slope of a line can tell you how steep it is.
The farther away from 0, the steeper the slope.
Another way of saying that is, the higher the absolute value of the slope, the steeper the line will be.
So what does all of this have to do with skiing?
Well, there's many different routes that you can take down any one ski run.
Advanced skiers who often like speed and a challenge will sometimes pick a line that has a much steeper slope.
And less advanced skiers who like to play it safe often look for a way down the hill with a more gradual slope. When we're done, we'll do the math and find the slopes of both lines to see if you were right. Ready?
Who will ski the line with the steeper slope? Who skied the line with the steeper slope? Was it Pam or was it Randy?
It looks like I skied the line with the steeper slope. But let's check the math out, just to be sure. Remember, the line whose slope has the greatest absolute value is the steeper line. Placing a grid over the lines, we can find the slopes. We'll mark 2 points on each line. Now, we'll draw slope triangles and compute the change in y and the change in x to find the slope. First, let's take a look at my line. My line goes down 1 space for a rise of -1, and over 1 space for a run of 1. That gives my line an overall slope of -1 over 1, which is just -1. Now let's look at Randy's line. Randy's line goes down 1 space for a rise of -1 and over 2 spaces for a run of 2. That gives his line an overall slope of -1 over 2, or -1/2. So how can we use these numbers to prove whose line is steeper? Remember, the greater the absolute value the slope of the line is, the steeper the line will be. My line has a slope of -1. The absolute value of -1 is 1. Randy's line has a slope of -1/2. The absolute value of -1/2 is 1/2. Since 1 is greater than 1/2, and steeper lines have slopes with greater absolute values, we've mathematically shown that I ski the line with the steeper slope. Okay, enough celebrating.